Hi, today we'll be discussing Chapter 23, Perek Chaf Gimel of Tehillim, which is probably a great place to start this series that we're doing, because this is probably the most famous chapter of Psalms of any of the chapters, right? This is the Psalm that says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Or in Hebrew, Mizmor LeDavid HaShemari Lo Echsar. Traditionally, this Psalm is usually sung as Shabbat is ebbing away during the third meal, during Su'udah Shlishi, which begs the question, why? When we read this psalm, right, it actually sounds a little bit dark, right? Some of the things that the author talks about here, right, is that God will revive his soul, God guides him on the right path, and in God's name. And then very, very famously, Gam ki elach begeit sal mavad, lo irara ki ata imade. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you, God, you are with me. And I think that the reason why we sing this at the end of Shabbat is that Shabbat is the day of the week where we often feel closest to God, right? It's a day where we really spend time with family and friends and can really devote ourselves to, let's say, our spiritual and divine worship in this world. And as the sun is starting to set and we realize that we're going to have to start re-entering the rest of the world, we're sort of mourning in a certain way that God's presence or that closeness that we feel on Shabbat itself is going to leave us. And so therefore, what the author does here is really give us words of comfort, right? Even though we may be walking through the valley of the shadow of death, right? We may be walking through difficult times, dark times. What we always remember is we have no fear and that God is always with us.
Hashem roi lo echsar B'hina teshayar V'tzeini al mei menucho yenaheli Nafshi yeshovev Nafshi yeshovev Yancheini v'maglei tzedek leman shemo Gam ki heilech b'geit hamavet lo irara ki ata imadi Shivtecha u'mishantecha Shivtecha u'mishantecha Hema yenachamuni Taroch lefanai shulchan Taroch lefanai shulchan Taharoch lefanai shulchan Neged zarerai Dishanta v'shemen roshi Dishanta v'shemen roshi Dishanta v'shemen roshi Kosi rivaya Achtov achesed yirdefuni Kol yemei chayat V'shavti b'beit Hashem V'shavti b'beit Hashem V'yorech yamim Alay nay 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 na 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 Nay 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 nay
just want to end, just to bring the whole thing full circle, with the last verse, right? It's really a very short psalm. It's only 6 verses. Ach tov v'chesed yirdifuni kol yemei chayai v'shafti b'beit Hashem la'orech tamim. Surely goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of God for many years to come. Right? So thinking about that as Shabbat ends, right, and we are no longer sort of in the house that we create on Shabbat, that we are confident, right? That's what the author is telling us here, that we're confident that goodness and kindness will always follow us for the rest of the days of our lives. Thank you.